Jack, you and I talk about this stuff all the time. A lot of people on the online right talk about this stuff, but I do feel like we have not done an adequate job as a conservative movement actually preparing for more debanking, for more deplatforming, and when the Republicans take power, which presumably they will, being able to have these investigations that go into some of these businesses that are really in charge of our First Amendment now. And I don't see a coherent plan coming together. I see bits and pieces, ideas here and there. Are you confident that we're going to be able to move forward the next 5 or 10 years?
Look, I see some amazing work. Obviously, with the reporting that comes out of Breitbart, Alan Bakari's work on tech is second to none. It's second to none. He's clearly just the leading guy. And I say that as, technically a competitor to Alan, but he's a good friend. And we have the information, but what we need is the policy and that cadre coming forward. So I'm seeing glimmers of it. I'm seeing places like the Claremont Institute. I'm seeing places like IAD coming forward. CPI has been pretty good on this, where they are putting this together, because essentially what it really comes down to is personnel, right? It comes down to who is going to be staffing those new congressmen who are coming in, who's going to be, because we all know that, it is rare that the congressman is actually setting policy. It is the staffers of that shop that are running it. So where do those staffers come from? Are you a Claremont fellow? Are you a CPI fellow? You're coming up through American Moment. Turning Point actually has some programs that are kind of in that vein as well. Really, of course, focusing on college kids, even at some points high school kids, right? As they're coming up, when you meet some people, and you know right away when you're dealing with someone who is going to be a player, who's going to be someone that's rising up very quickly, and that's one great thing that Turning Point does. And I'm not pitching, but I'm just saying that.
No, you're free to pitch. We love Turning Point here.
But what you really, and this is something that you see when a lot of people say, they talk about the shortcomings of the Trump administration. I think so much of that, really almost 100% of that, goes down to policy. Your personnel is policy. So the people you pick, the people you surround yourself with, what they're reading, what they're consuming, what they're not willing to read, what they don't want to read. There's that old story. I don't even know if it's apocryphal or what, about human events, that the Bush people in the Reagan White House used to try to keep human events out of the Oval Office.
That's the story.
Right. And that was right. That's always the story. And Reagan was like, "Where's my human events? I want to read my human events," because that was the grassroots populist front page, finger on the pulse kind of thing. And with Trump, at least he had Twitter, so he could kind of see. It was particularly Saturdays was when really the day that he's driving on Twitter, and I always remember that, because he would always retweet me on Saturday mornings for some reason. That was one of the things he would go for when he was on. But so harder to get him away from that. But at the same time, that leaves 6 days of the week that you're surrounded by people. Oh, sir, no, you've got to stay in Afghanistan. You've got to do this. No, sir, we need to do the tax cuts. No, we need this deal with China. Don't make Wuhan much of an issue. Don't ask about that lab. Fauci's got to stay on. All of this. You can't accept the lab. Fauci's the guy who's been there. So that goes into your head, and that goes into your ear, and you think, look, do I want to be a crusader? Do I want to be a president for all people, etc.? And at this point, I think you need people to staff, whether it's a new Congress and to staff the next administration, the next Republican administration, whichever one we get, has to be people that understand what point in the movie we are in.